in today's talk, we're going to present one of the top business universities in the USA, Bentley University, which is just 9 miles outside Boston. And as Forbes said in the last edition, it is the training ground for the leaders of tomorrow. It's a small university with around 4,000 undergraduate students with a beautiful campus. And it mostly emphasizes on business, although it offers also programs in liberal arts and science. Today with us, there are the fantastic people of the admission committee that devoted their time to present the university and give us an insight into what exactly Bentley is, and to add to this value with us is also Philippos Andrikopoulos, who is a current student at Bentley, and also Nicholas Devletoglou, who is a graduate of 2015. It's an alumnus of the university and who went on to do a master in finance at Cambridge University, and currently he works at JP Morgan in London. I hope that this presentation will give you an insight in one of the very nice universities that we really support here at CLC. Enjoy the presentation. Thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Nice meeting you. I am Pepe. Hi, Felipe. How are you?
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I'm good, thank you.
Hello.
Okay, this is my colleague Penny, who is a mentor and helps out with the applications for USA universities. Nice seeing you, Elisa. Thank you for being with us today. Hi, how are you?
Hi, this is Anna.
Hi, Natalie. How are you? I'm Pepe. So nice meeting you there, Natalie. And later on, we'll have with us another alumnus from Bentley who did great things because he left Bentley and then he went to Cambridge and he did a master in finance in a very demanding program because they take very few students in that program, and I was very happy for that. And now he works in JP Morgan in Switzerland. So that shows how far Bentley students can go if they do, if they're good students while they're studying, or GPA is a high GPA. And we are here, I don't know if you know about us, I'll talk about us a bit and then.
Please do that, Pepe, because
okay. I'll do that. I come from Canada, Montreal, and I have been living in Greece for 29 years. And all these years, I have been involved with the education of everybody. Like we prepare students for standardized tests like SATs, YELTS, TOEFL, GMAT, GRE, which is one part of what we do. And the other part is the mentoring. So we take students who want to study abroad. So we just read their vibes, what exactly they want to do, and we guide them for the best choice, what universities to apply, how to prepare a very competitive CV, and what to do to improve, to show their uniqueness, not only for bachelors, but also for masters, for PhDs, for MBAs, for everything. So this is what we do. We're like a family here. We're a team of 35 people who work around the clock 24/7. And this is how we meet students, and this is why parents trust us, because of this experience. If I say somebody is fit to go to Bentley, they know that it's going to be the right choice, because I have researched a lot, and Penny also have researched a lot what Bentley is all about, you see? So this is what we do. All right. So
Pepe,
yes,
how many
Karen.
years have you been in existence?
It's 25 years.
25 years.
Yes, 25 years. And we know pretty well the universities, although I was planning to come into Boston like not this summer, no, the summer before that, but because of COVID, because I wanted to visit the universities myself, because every summer I choose some universities and I go to visit them so I can have the vibe of the university. Of course, I have my students here because since I've been doing that, my team and I, of course, who have been doing it for 25 years, you understand that we have a lot of alumni that support the universities, and they tell us exactly what you do. for example, and they tell us also sometimes some problems that they face with the universities. So if I hear something that it was problematic, I always let know the admission committee that, you know, guys, this was a comment that came to me because of that. So we can work together, because this is what we do 24/7 exactly. You know what it means. Because all the deadlines are the 1st of January, for example, for bachelors, and everybody remembers the last minute to do something, the 25th, 29th, 1st of January. So this is what we do then, okay? And this is my colleague also, Penny, and this is how Philippos, this is how we met Philippos also. He came to us, he was doing his IB classes, so he came to us with his parents. So we discussed the best choice for him. And Bentley was at the top of my list also. So, and they researched the university and they agreed. So here is with us because I'm recording this for our students and the parents that couldn't get in to watch it live. So they will know what Bentley is about, because in Greece, for example, most people know some universities, not all universities. So I'm trying to change that. I've been trying with my colleague to do that the last years. So this is what we do.
So my name is Karen Karadianis. I've been at Bentley for 21 years. I've been in international admissions 35 years now, and I'm the director of international undergraduate admissions. And welcome, everyone.
Okay. The next one is Anna. Unmute.
Hi, everyone. I'm Anna Garson. I work in the Center for International Students and Scholars at Bentley University. So I've been at Bentley for 5 years now, and our office helps with the visa acquisition process. So before you even arrive in the US, and then we help with all of the immigration related matters while you are here in the US studying at Bentley. So travel, visa renewal, changing your status, work authorization, for an internship, for example, if you would like to do that while you're here. And then we also help with some cultural adjustment as well. So as you're getting adapted to the new environment of Bentley, we help with that in addition to that.
Okay, good. Thank you, Anna. Natalie?
Hi, welcome everyone. I'm Natalie Schlegel. I'm the director of the Cronin Office of International Education. So what my office does is oversees our exchange partnerships around the world and provides study abroad opportunities, anywhere from short intensive courses with our faculty traveling abroad up to an academic year abroad.
I see, really interesting. And you, Alyssa?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Alyssa Hammond. I am the director of the undergraduate career development team in the Pulsifer Career Center here at Bentley. I've been here for 13 years and in career development for over 20. Our office supports all of our undergraduate students in their career development and career education. We help our students with major decisions, as well as identifying potential career paths, industries, roles, and then we provide career education in order to help our students launch into internships and into full-time positions after graduation.
Very interesting. All right, then. As far as I know, Bentley, from what I have checked, Bentley is one of the top business schools, because you have the emphasis is on business. You have also liberal arts and science. You boast a small student body, which is really important for many parents to know. And also you're very close to one of the biggest cities like Boston City. So I mean, you have some characteristics, and you have also a campus, which are very interesting characteristics for parents to know. I begin with parents because I'm also a parent, and these are the questions that parents ask me. So if I'm a parent and I want to hear something about Bentley, how would you present Bentley? This is what I know about Bentley, but what would you say Bentley has to offer to a student?
Maybe I'll take the admissions general standpoint, and then my colleagues can jump in and highlight how their areas really add value, because each and every one of them does. What has kept me at Bentley for so many years is truly the personalized touch and the quality of education that they provide their student. I've worked for Ivy Leagues, your less competitive schools, everything in between. And there's an expression in the United States which is called walk the walk or talk the talk. And walk the walk is, we're not the university for everyone, but what we have, we truly excel in. And it's recognized every single year. Business Week has ranked Bentley number 10 in the United States for having the best business program. US News and World Report has just ranked Bentley number 1 in the Northeast for being one of the best universities. Alyssa will tell you about our job placement rate and our rankings in career services, which are second to none. As an institution, what really stands out for me, having attended myself 2 different universities for undergrad and graduate studies, is we physically do not build a classroom to fit more than 35 students, and the average classroom size is 24. And like you said, Pepe, we are a medium-sized university, and the majority of our student population, over 4,000, are at the undergraduate level, which gives our students the benefit of doing research at the undergraduate level. And our faculty are undergraduate faculty who teach at the graduate level, as opposed to vice versa. So our students are really engaged, and all of our classrooms are taught by experts in the industry. You mentioned the
Let me add something about, I read at Forbes for Bentley, it says it's the training ground for aspiring business leader and only 9 miles away from Boston. It's really distinction getting something from Forbes, for example, talking about Bentley. So this is what I'm interested in also in this environment, and this is what you offer. It's unique.
Absolutely. One thing that really stands out is all of these various rankings. Like, we're ranked number 2 for being the most innovative. Stanford published an article a few years back looking at all the business programs, and there's over 4,000 universities in the United States. So the majority of them having a business or business related field. And they indicated the top 5 schools, of which Bentley was among them, because of our innovative approach. And this integration, we do a fabulous job integrating business with the arts and sciences and technology. Believe it or not, Bentley is the only business university in the country. Other universities have business programs, but what makes us the only business university is our ability to require all students, whether they're coming to Bentley to major in English or health studies or finance and accounting, everyone takes these general ed courses in business because we know that this is what's going to get them a job. If you think of the world today, the for-profit world, the nonprofit world, the government sector, no one can tell me where business skills would not be an advantage to whatever career someone pursues. And that's really what we're recognized for. We've also invested over $300 million in technology, and we have state-of-the-art facilities on our campus that we can proudly say no other university in the world has these same facilities. They might have 1, they might have 2, but there's no other that has all the ones that we have. And then our experiential learning approach, which Alyssa can tell you more about, which Natalie can tell you more about, adds so much value that gives our students that edge over any other university in the country. And I'm going to leave it at that so Alyssa can really highlight that, as can Natalie.
The thing is that I would like to know from Lisa also is what you pointed out, what you're offering, and how friendly it is for students to be there. Because from what Philippos is telling me, it's like there is a lot of support for students, not, I mean, academically. I don't mean like extra things that you offer, but academically, that there is a lot of support that you're offering. So you can talk about that. I don't know, Natalie, Anna, Alisa, who is going to talk about it?
Yeah, so building off of that, by adding like a student standpoint into the conversation, if I would describe, if I would describe Bentley with one word, it would be community, because you can really see a community between students as well as faculty, which is something very difficult to see in other universities in the country or as well as in the world. As Karen said before, the average capacity in a classroom is 24 students, and that really creates like a very cohesive environment for learning, but it also builds relationships and network with other faculty and instructors as well. But besides the faculty, Bentley engages students with like many activities, extracurricular activities, academic or even athletic ones, whatever they prefer. So they can all like come together and create like a very friendly community. So this is something that I really appreciated from a student standpoint.
This is very interesting because this is what will persuade other students to come to Bentley also, Philippe. Okay.
I'll jump in now. So from a career services development perspective, as Karen mentioned, we have been very fortunate to be ranked by the Princeton Review as a top 5 career services office since 2014. And we've been #1, which has been a very big honor, humbling honor for us in 2017, 2019, and again in 2021. And I want to be clear about what this ranking means. This is a ranking that comes directly from our students. This is not a ranking that we have any participation in. Students are surveyed for this ranking, and it is based on their satisfaction with our office and based on the satisfaction of the support that they get from our office. So if there's any, I mean, just with that one point alone, I think it's safe to say that our students really get what they need from our office in a friendly, supportive way. We are all about inclusiveness. We have a very well thought out career education curriculum, which started in 2012 with our first year career development class called CDI 101. It's a course that is not academic. It is completely optional. It is not required. And starting in 2012, when we started the course, we've had 98% enrollment. So our first year students really understand the value of this course. They do it voluntarily, and it allows them to get all of their career development toolkit put together in a 6-week classroom experience with career development staff. And there's a seat for every single first year and transfer student. That is a guarantee. And what Karen was saying about that small classroom experience, that continues in CDI 101 and all of our CDI classes as well. There is a maximum of 35 students in each course. So this is not a large scale course experience. It's very intimate, one-on-one, and our students are developing very strong college resumes. They learn how to write effective cover letters. They create elevator pitches, which they actually have to deliver in class. They create impactful LinkedIn profiles. They learn how to network, and they learn how to find an internship in this very first classroom experience. And along the way, they have the ability to take the Gallup Clifton Strengths Finder assessment, which is a free assessment. Our office pays for our entire first year's class to take this, so that our students understand what they're good at and why they are good at it and what makes them who they are, which is very powerful information for young adults to understand why they do what they do great all the time without thought. So this report provides a lot of unique insight to them. It's like their thumbprint, if you will. And we talk to our students about, how do you talk about these strengths when you are networking, when you are looking at opportunities, when you are applying, and crafting and kind of really threading those strengths through in their storytelling, because that's essentially what job searching is your ability to tell your story in a way that will connect with an employer and make them want you to add value to their companies.
Elisa, can I ask you something? Most of our students, international students, of course, you know that better than me, had problems securing internships the last years because the way the administration regarded international students and administration, and there were many companies that they were saying we do not sponsor visas, for example. Is this case changing a bit? Will international students have the chance, or they will be calling me again and say, Ms. Pepe, find us internships in Greece because we can't secure anything here in the USA? Do you think this will change?
Well, it's my hope. It's my sincere hope. I think that this current administration definitely is much more open and much more friendly to international students. I mean, it's still very early in this administration, and I think that I'll probably lean in on Anna to kind of get that sense as to where things are going from a regulatory perspective. But what I can tell you is this: is that we have, you know, again, for many, many years, a 98% plus what we call, I don't like to call it placement because we don't place anybody. It's really an outcomes where 98% of our students are either employed or going to graduate school within 6 months of graduation. And that percentage includes all of our international students. So they are finding jobs, whether it's it's domestically within the US or within their home country or another location. They are successful in finding employment. We have an international student career community which provides resources specialized for international students to give them what they need in terms of what they need to know, the materials that they need to craft, how to engage in a US job search as well as a home job search. They're both equally important and they both equally need to happen because we don't know. We don't have any control over who is granting visas and how things are going to present themselves in 4 years when these students will graduate. But we are preparing them as best we can to find a job. And we also have an international student specialist on our team who works very closely, again, with our Center for International Students and Scholars staff, as well as our students, our international students, and our international student groups.
Okay,
so,
because
so
this is one of the questions everybody asks. Will I be able to find an internship? Because we had this problem, you know that, better than me, of course, because they couldn't secure anything. And they were going to career days, and there were like 25 companies, and 23 of them had the sign, we do not sponsor visas, we do not sponsor visas. And this was a big problem.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's going to change now anyways.
Well, it's important for international students to understand that, you know, the universities don't have control over what companies do. And so it's very important for an international student to be very realistic when they do decide to attend a US school. And we are very realistic with our students. We don't promise things, but we do everything that we can to help them in their job search and in their exploration. And at the end of the day, they find their way. And that's the most important thing, is that they're finding, they're finding employment in meaningful ways and putting them on the path to long-term career success. But I'm going to ask Anna, for further insight, because she really is the one that would know best in terms of how regulations and legislation is changing.
So I think first, it's important to make the distinction between employment that is permitted by your student visa and sponsorship, because they're two completely different things. So when you come to the US as an international student, usually you're on an F1 visa. And as a benefit of that visa, you are eligible for certain work authorizations. So for internship, it's called CPT. After you graduate, it's called OPT. Those are technicalities that, we will fully explain to you, if you end up coming to Bentley. But the wonderful thing about these benefits is that they do not require sponsorship. So your visa is sponsored by Bentley University when you come here, and to apply for the work authorization associated with an internship, you simply work with a professor, an internship coordinator in your department, and submit forms to our office, and we authorize it on your immigration document. So in order to do an internship during your studies, really all you need is to be able to gain academic credit from that internship. There are no other immigration related requirements. So that's really great. The company doesn't need to sponsor you. There is no obligation on the part of the company other than the standard hiring procedures. Obviously, for many students, they would like to establish a relationship with a company so that they can work after they graduate. So that is where it can become a little bit problematic in the internship search if you're only looking to work for internships or companies that will be willing to sponsor you further down the line. So I would say, we have many students, even in the past year during COVID, who have secured internships. There are paid options, there are unpaid options, there are short-term options, there are semester-long options. There's so many different types of internships you can do. So especially for international students, don't limit yourself. Any job experience is good experience and will help you later down the line. And then post-graduation, you have another work authorization that you can apply for that doesn't need sponsorship. That's OPT. You get a year, or if you're in a STEM field, so science, technology, engineering, and math, you get 3 years of work authorization without the need for sponsorship. So this is really attractive to companies because they don't need to go through that work visa or H-1B visa sponsorship process. We are seeing right now that the regulations are relaxing and they're becoming a little bit more friendly to international students, partly due to the change of administration, partly due to, the COVID situation getting a little bit better. Again, while OPT continues to be an option, we're hopeful that many more of our students will be able to get sponsored down the line. But even if you don't, it is perfectly okay. And we have many students who are still able to get, work-related experience while they're here. And there are still many companies who are really excited to hire our international students because they know that Bentley students provide really, really great work.
The other question that everybody will ask, and you, Penny, should know better, is about scholarships. What scholarships did our students get? The last ones, Penny, do you remember?
I think it was the presidential scholarships.
Yes.
But I think that Bentley has a range of scholarships and the amount of money that they give to the students, and it's according to their academics, I believe. It's what I've seen from the acceptance letters and when the scholarships come eventually. So they don't have like a standard rate, but if I'm wrong, correct me. But I think it solely depends for international students on their academics.
Let me jump in here because I do award those scholarships when I read the application. So
thank you.
You're absolutely right, Penny. We do have a range. I can't recall a year that's gone by where I haven't offered a full scholarship to a student from Greece. Those are highly competitive. You have to be in the top 1 to 2% of the global population, to put it into perspective. So our scholarships go up to full tuition, which is $56,000 a year. And then you're right, we have ranges. So we have 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, $25,000, $30,000, and then full tuition scholarships. And these are renewable every year, so it's not just one time. With that said, we also have a fabulous women's leadership program. This is highly competitive. This year, we probably had over 1,000 applications for about 45 seats. So here is an opportunity, because if you look at a variety of industries, you're not often seeing women in leadership roles. This was funded primarily by Ernst & Young, or EY, and they have worked with Bentley to develop this program. And as part of this women's leadership program, if female applicants demonstrate strong leadership in their secondary school, there is also a financial component, which is $10,000 per year. And it's a compounded scholarship, which means you can receive a merit scholarship and a women's leadership scholarship together, and that would be on top of your merit award. We also offer partial and full athletic scholarships, being a Division I and a Division II university, and that too is a compounded scholarship. Women's leadership and merit scholarships are determined by the Office of Undergraduate Admissions. Coaches are selecting, obviously, the athletic scholarship award. So I hope that helps clarify.
What sports? I think it's for hockey. It's Division I, the hockey thing.
Division I is hockey, basketball, which is Division II, but we offer full scholarships in basketball for both men and women. We also offer a good number of high scholarships for women's volleyball. We have over 23 varsity sports teams. So where some scholarship money is minimal, we're just talking maybe a few thousand a year, and that could apply to soccer or tennis or swimming. Other scholarships are more significant, like American football or, as I mentioned before, volleyball, etc.
Oh, really?
And that really depends on each year and what the positions are open for and how the money is allotted in athletics. We don't control that. So if a certain amount of money has been allotted to athletics and they happen to have brought in a lot of first-year students and they need less positions the subsequent year because they don't have many graduating seniors, then money will transfer over to other athletic sports, but that's all managed by the athletics. And that varies every single year.
Because you said something academic scholarships. Can I ask you something, Karen? Because now SAT has become optional. But from our experience, because this year we prepared about 60 students for USA universities, but our experience showed that SAT was not actually so optional, because the people who got academic scholarships all had high SAT scores. So
every student I gave a full tuition scholarship to this year, none had SAT scores.
And they were international students then?
Correct. I'm only talking about international. I only read everyone that applies from outside the United States, and then I verify all the internationals that have applied inside the United States. So I'm only wearing that hat for this conversation. And I can tell you that no student submitted SATs for those that received full scholarships. We already had precedent. So yes, as a university, Bentley went SAT optional last year and this coming year. Prior to that, for those applying from outside of the United States, we were SAT flexible.
Okay.
So if someone was doing an IB, they did not need to submit SATs. Or if someone had A levels and had a particular subject in an A level, they did not have to submit SATs or ACT, whichever exam they were taking. And therefore, we were already in our own office trained how to read and not allow standardized tests to impact who would be getting an award. and for how much. We were truly basing it on one's academic profile minus standardized tests.
Right.
I don't know what the future will bring post 2022, but right now, worst case scenario, we may revert back to flexible because that was our standard policy before, but right now we are optional.
Can I ask also something else? Do you take into account the CSS profile, parent CSS profile, but when you award the academic scholarship? Does it matter how much money they are making, for example?
First of all, Bentley doesn't award need-based aid to families outside, to those who are not US citizens or permanent residents. Secondly, even if a US citizen or permanent resident was applying outside the United States, when we make our admissions decisions, we are need blind. So we do not look at someone being a millionaire or someone, even if we gave a full scholarship to, still can't afford it. If someone is deserving of getting an admission and someone is deserving to get a financial recognition for their academic excellence, they will receive it regardless of whether they can afford or cannot afford to attend the university.
I see.
We are one of the few universities left in the United States who still makes their admissions decisions need blind without awarding need.
Okay, good.
To internationals.
Good to know. Good to know, for the parents to know. Felipe, can I ask you something? Because like there are many clubs. For the time that you were there, how did you find like the student life? How was it?
Yeah, definitely. So as I said before, there are many clubs that students can join. And each semester, there's like a career fair, but also like a clubs fair, where like all of the clubs that are organized and recognized by Bentley organize like a space called Green Space, where students can apply to join the given club. For example, I was part of the Bentley investment group, the Bentley volleyball team, and some other clubs as well, which was my own decision. And that gave me a lot of flexibility because I was able to come closer and network with other students at the university and allow them to do something that I like as well. So I really had a lot of flexibility and many choices to choose from.
And also because Nicholas was trying to get in from Switzerland, there was a problem there, but he was also part of the investment club that you have at Bentley, the one that you are now. And he was telling me that he did learn things. It was not just being a part of a club. And what about the professors? Let's take your point of view. Let's assume that you are now giving your critical opinion about something. What is your feeling about the classes, the professors? How helpful are they? Would you like recommend a student to go there because he will feel very comfortable in that environment?
So as I said before, the average capacity for students in a classroom is like 24, as Karen said before, if I'm not mistaken. And the thing with that is that a very inclusive environment conducive to learning is created. Besides that, the professors by themselves are very fair, and they really like award the students who work hard in order to achieve in a given course. So if you do work hard and you understand the course material and you engage in a class, you're really gonna do well. So they really award your effort that you put in, which is very important.
So I mean, if you met me and you wanted to persuade me to come to Bentley, what would you say as a student now?
You mean for the professors or in general?
No, I'm a student. You will say, yes, Miss Pepe, you can come to Bentley because...
Oh yeah, definitely. So as we said before, Bentley, first of all, has one of the top career services offices in the country, which for me, it was the #1 factor to apply to the university, because what we want from a business school is to get a very good job afterwards. And so really what the career services do, as we explained before, help students get the job that they want.
Bravo,
but besides
Anna, good work.
but besides that, you gain also a lot of knowledge from the courses that you take. For example, I'm a management major, but there are many different like concentrations like entrepreneurship, leadership, financing. So you can choose what you want to study, and through the course that you take, you can develop many different skills that you can then use in the business environment, which is, of course, very important, and it helps with the application process when you apply to get a job. So,
Felipe, when you were there, did you feel safe in the university?
Yes.
Was it a safe environment? Because
Yes.
there are many parents with girls and they're thinking about that.
Yeah, so again, as I said before, the university creates a community from the first point that you get in, because when you're a freshman, you will mostly live in like a residential center, in a residential hall, where you have RAs that are resident assistants. And there you meet all of the students that you are in the given hall. So you really get into that community right away, as long as you arrive at the university. So definitely a very inclusive community.
Natalie, can I ask you something? Thank you. What kind of qualifications would you choose? Like, for example, in Greece, we have like the international, our national curriculum, which grants the appoliterion, and then we have IB systems, and we have other kind of systems. But the thing is that IB is given only to few schools in Greece, and they're private schools, and it's mostly for the privileged who can afford it. So 80% of the Greek students are doing the national curriculum. So do you have any preference, like to say, I want that from the national curriculum, the Greek one, the appoliterion, or I want that, I prefer the IB, for example?
In answer to your question, Pepe, one of my full tuition scholars, not this year, but last year out of Greece, was in the national system. The national system in Greece is, in my opinion, and it's not because I'm Greek, but having read the whole world, is one of the most rigorous curriculums I have seen globally.
Thank you, Karen,
and I
for saying that. Thank you.
And I recognize that it just takes an elite group that can actually succeed in that. And with half my family still in Greece and having nieces and nephews there, I've seen their struggles over the years and the challenges. So I'm very familiar with that curriculum. We cannot compare apples with oranges. And at Bentley, when we make our admissions decisions, because we have applicants from schools that offer both the IB as well as the national curriculums, I am not comparing these kids to one another. I'm comparing them with their own pool of applicants. Now, I think there was a question in the chat feature about, you know, what are the admission requirements? So I can tell you, as much as I recognize how rigorous the national curriculum is in Greece, historically, I have not admitted students with an average much below a 17 out of 20. And I know that's extremely hard to achieve, but that's our profile. If it's not a national system, our average IB is 34, and that does not include the bonus points. If you're competing for a full tuition scholarship, you better be averaging above a 40. And if you're getting some kind of merit scholarship, it's usually a prediction of a 36 or higher. And I can't stress this enough, we look at all 4 years. So it's not just your final 2 years, whether it's your final 2 years in a national system, in an IB system, in the A-level system, which is also offered in Greece. We get applicants from the German schools. So even looking at the Abitur, we're looking at all 4 years. And I will sidetrack a little because with the Women's Leadership Program, that ideal student will have demonstrated at least 3 or more leadership roles through their secondary school career and have written a wonderful essay, because there is an essay component to that.
Can I jump in just now, because Karen said about essays, and this is usually what I deal with most students when we are doing our counseling sessions. So I wanted to ask, so you said that you awarded most scholarships and awards to students that didn't have an SAT, and this is beautiful. This is great because it was already a flexible university. What I really want to ask is that apart from the GPA, which I'm pretty sure you look at when you are going to admit a student or not, I wanted to ask how important is the role of the essays, because I know you have the Common App essay, which is like you send it to all universities anyway, so you definitely look at this, and then you have why Bentley University, and like, what do you place a lot of importance to those components of the application, or you mostly focus on the main Common App essay and the activity list, and depends if you're applying for a certain scholarship, then you focus on the essays of the scholarship as well?
Well, the good thing about Bentley is we don't require an essay for the scholarships. So that is not a factor. The emphasis for scholarships is merit-based, and hence their name, merit-based scholarships. The essay does play a significant role, and I'm going to give you a quick little story, and that is there was a gentleman that applied to Bentley a couple years back, and when we did require our standardized tests. So his SATs were 1,500. In 4 years of his educational study, he was a solid A student. And this student was also taking a British curriculum, and he challenged himself with 4 A levels. Our average is 3, so anything above that, of which 2 were science and 1 was math, and their predicted were solid A. So this student was the cream of the crop. In all due respect, based on just the academic profile and the standardized tests, he would have been given a full tuition scholarship, and I waitlisted him. And I waitlisted him because of his essay. His essay was so specific and pertained to a career in engineering, which Bentley does not offer. Why would I give up my very few full tuition scholarships and an available seat when historically at that time we were denying 70% of our applicant pool to someone who I knew would not choose us? But the overall profile didn't warrant a rejection, right? So I waitlisted this kid. At Bentley, when you're waitlisted, you have to write a statement of why you felt that you deserved to be off the wait list. It was only at that time I realized that we were his #1 choice school, because his school counselor contacted me and said, I was so sure this kid would get admitted based on what the system at that time, Naviance, was telling us of your profile. Why did you waitlist him? And I said, because we didn't have what he wanted to study. And so when he wrote his statement, he said he always wanted Bentley, and it was his #1 choice, but his parents wanted him to study engineering. And so that's why he applied to both engineering and business schools. And his parents made him write his essay about engineering specifically. And because of his academic profile and his activities, he didn't think we would pay much attention to his essay. So while he was trying to make his parents happy, he ended up closing doors rather than opening doors. And that year we didn't even go to our wait list. So here is a kid who should have been admitted with a full scholarship, who didn't even get in because of his poor choice of an essay.
So it plays a very important role. Okay, thank you.
And Nicholas, who couldn't get in, while he was at Bentley, he chose to do a year abroad or a semester abroad, Bocconi University. And this was really—
Yeah, I'm on. I can hear you.
Excuse me?
I can hear you. I'm on.
Ah, hi, Nicholas. But we can't see you.
Yeah, I'm in the office. That's fine.
Can I turn on the video then?
I'm a bit skeptical because it's recorded.
Okay, forget it. Yeah, okay, because you're in the office, all right. So this is Nicholas now. He's going to tell us his experience while he was at Bentley, and he did the summer school at Bocconi. Yes, Nicholas, welcome. He works at JP Morgan, as we said, in Switzerland. And I see you, Nicholas, or seeing you, listening to you.
Yeah, well, I think if there was one thing I would say about Bentley, which I guess has changed over the years. I was there in 2011, 2015. I can compare it to my grad school studies here in London. So I did a master's in Cambridge, and looking back over the two and what I use on my day-to-day job, everything I learned was from Bentley, which is a lot, I think.
Good to know, Bentley over Cambridge, good to know.
I actually,
for you guys.
For me, Cambridge was a year of vacation. Bentley was very tough. It was very challenging, and you learn a ton of things. And I think the professors there were phenomenal. I was lucky to have Professor Sumner at the time. He was like a very famous guy, especially if you're in markets, as I am right now. It's a name you could hear. Especially in 2008 with the financial crisis. He was very influential in kind of pushing the Fed towards targeting nominal GDP approaches rather than real GDP approaches. So you'll see this whole QE kind of thing took off, and part of it was his influence. I was like very lucky to have him as a professor. So yeah, I mean, long story short is that I think it's phenomenal university, phenomenal place to be. You learn a lot. And everyone's very driven. From the sounds of it, it's become way more competitive than when I applied. So I would definitely not get in today. But yes, sorry.
You would get in today also because you were an excellent candidate then and now. So don't think about that.
Nicholas, did you say that you also spent time abroad during your Bentley career?
Yes, I did the semester at Bocconi, mostly my thought process at the time. I wouldn't advise it to people who are from Europe just because like Bentley offers so many opportunities in countries that you probably won't have time to go to when you start working. But I did a semester at Bocconi with the thought that I'm an international student. I don't have a visa. So maybe, I need kind of an edge in Europe as well, which was really nice. I had a good time, but had I been able to go back, I would do like a more exotic country.
And I'm so happy because you reaffirmed what we say to the parents, that you should choose a university that's the best fit for your child to do well, community spirit, high academics as you are, and I know that, but mostly this feeling that because the parents that will watch this video and the students will feel what I felt, this family thing.
Lisa said the key word. It's a family.
Exactly.
And I have never encountered more phenomenal students in my lifetime. I am very, very close to many of our alumni because I travel the world, and I am spending so much time with our alumni in every country I go to, that it's really rewarding for me to see the kids that I admitted 20 years ago and seeing their success, and we're like family, and it just doesn't happen before they arrive or while they're students, but it's also afterwards.
All right, girls, it was so nice meeting you to begin with. Thank you for giving us the time to spend with us. Nice meeting you. Bye-bye, guys. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.